to understand the US-Iran tension. This will be a four-part explanation, and you're watching part one. Most people think that US-Iran conflict is recent, but this is 40 years old. In 1979, Iran went through a major Islamic revolution that overthrew a US-backed government. Overnight, Iran cut ties with America and labeled US as its biggest enemy. From that moment onwards, distrust became permanent. The US began seeing Iran as a destabilizing force in the Middle East, while Iran accused America of controlling the region of its own interests. Embassies were shut, sanctions began, and both countries started fighting indirectly through allies instead of direct war. This long-standing rivalry is why every US-Iran headline feels explosive today. Stay tuned for part 2, where things gets really intense with nuclear programs and sanctions. Now, for part 2, we will discuss nuclear program and sanctions. This is where the conflict starts getting really dangerous. At the center is Iran's nuclear program. The US believes Iran could secretly build a nuclear weapon, while Iran says it only wants nuclear energy. To pressure Iran, the US imposed heavy economic sanctions, which crushed Iran's economy. Inflation skyrocketed, jobs disappeared, and daily life became cumbersome and extremely hard. The economic crisis fueled massive protests in Iran. Iran blamed US for interference, while the US insisted pressure was the only way to stop a potential nuclear threat. Now, in part 3, we will discover how it affects the entire world. Part 3 is where we discuss the global impact. This conflict doesn't stay between the two countries. Iran sits in a region of controlling a huge portion of the world's oil supply. When tension rises, oil prices spike. Markets react, and countries from the Middle East feel the impact at petrol pumps and in living costs. Both nations maintain military readiness, clash through proxies, and exchange threats constantly. Even without direct war, this standoff affects global economic everywhere. Now in part 4, we will discuss how it affects a daily person's life. Now in part 4, we'll actually discuss what happens next. There are 3 realistic paths. First, diplomacy, where both sides agree on Iran's nuclear program limit and ease sanctions. This reduces tensions but requires trust. Second, continued pressure without war. The US keeps sanctions, Iran resists tensions, but direct conflict is avoided. This is the current situation. Third, escalation. One attack retaliation could trigger a wider conflict, impacting oil, markets, and regional peace. The future depends on decisions made behind the closed doors, and the consequences will be felt far beyond Middle East. Now, US-Iran tensions aren't just two countries fighting. They are a global issue. Follow for more simple breakdown of world affairs and how they affect you.